Hi, good morning. Just going to wait for a few of you to join us. I hope you're okay. Beautiful sunny day. So happy Thursday. Thursday today? Hard to keep track of the days, isn't it? Just going to wait for a few more. We're going to be making chainmail today. So hopefully you've got your jump rings ready. Lovely. Got a few of you coming in. Okay, hi, morning. As you know, Totally Beads are doing make-along videos every day just to try and get you through and hopefully a bit of distraction. I've already had a few messages this morning saying you'll keep it as a treat for later once you've got a few of your day's chores done. Hope you're all managing to gain something out of your day as well. We were talking about maybe just having one project that you can do so you can achieve something. Hi, morning Marie. Hope you're all doing okay. Beautiful sunny day. I've got lots of DIY to do today, so I'm going to work this morning, get a few bits done, and then crack on with some jobs in the house, which will be nice. Morning Kitty. So have you got your jump rings ready? So Kitty is doing a free PDF download every day on the website. If you pop onto the Totally Beads website, there's a category down the left-hand side entitled free projects, and for 24-hour period every day there is a different project. I've got lots of you in this morning. Hello, good morning. Today's is chainmail. So we're going to be using jump rings. For those of you who haven't done chainmail before, we just use jump rings, but they need to be a really good quality. You can learn patterns with some of your smaller or softer jump rings, and then when you're ready you can gauge that up into the thicker jump rings. They are a little bit tougher to work with sometimes than ones that we would just attach clasps with. Morning mum. Everyone's up early today. So with your PDF download, what we did, and some of you will have seen the chainmail kits that we had a little while ago. If you got those, go and get them out of the cupboard and we'll make together. So you have some little basics in there. So learning the basics with your jewellery, how to finish them. So adding clasps, turning loops, things like that. And then the PDF for today is going to be a 2-on-2 link chainmail. So what that means is that for every link in your chain, morning Joe, what that means in every link of your chain, we're going to use 2 jump rings. Now that does mean that there are a lot of jump rings in your jewellery, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks so that you don't have to open and work with every single jump ring. So I think the common misconception with chainmail when you look at it is that it's a lot of work. I'll just grab some of these. A lot of work, but actually there's tips and tricks that you can get around it so that you really limit the amount of jump rings you need to work with, so it can grow really quickly. So 2-on-2 links are the free PDF for today. I'm going to show you that, but I'm also going to give you a little tutorial on how to turn it into a Helm Weave. Now, we do have the chainmail pattern book as well. This is what I launched on telly a few months ago. Morning Judith, morning Jenny, hi Dorothy. This actually has 7 different weaves in it, and a couple of the ones that I'm going to show you are in there, and that's actually on sale on the Totally Beads website. So if you have a look this morning, Chris, good morning. Thank you for my beading fix. Oh, you're more than welcome. I hope it's getting you through the day. So this is a box weave. And as you can see, it's really intricate, but there are, like I said, you don't have to open every jump ring. There are tricks and tips so that you can use them really effectively and really quickly, but achieve these amazing results. This is one of my favorites. And as you can see, it's still nice and fluid. When you wear this as a bracelet, it sits beautifully. Morning Camille, and this is what I'm going to show you today. So we actually had a workshop down at the Totally Beads warehouse a little while ago on a chainmail day, and I taught all 7 weaves. The women were fantastic. I really worked them hard. Morning Angela, need a hug so much right now, but I'll settle for a good tutorial. Oh Angela, we are sending you virtual hugs. I noticed that when I've been in at the studios, because we're doing so much social distancing, I am a hugger. Whenever I see people, I give them a hug, hello, and I am really missing that contact. It's funny, isn't it? It's all kind of thrown us off a bit, so I can completely understand how you're feeling, but know that you're not alone. We are all going through it together. Okay, so I am going to crack on. I've got my jump rings here. So I'm using a size 8 and a size 6. And what I'm going to do is just prep a little bit with you first of all. So I'm going to turn you down. I'll still be able to see your comments. So if you've got any questions or you want to just say hi, let us know what you've been making, then obviously I can still see that and I'll still help you out. So let's turn this down a little bit. Hopefully there's not too much glare. It's a gorgeous sunny day, so I've changed the angle of my camera a bit because I was getting a bit too much sun. Okay, so I'm going to use a pair of pliers. I'm using my round and my flat nosed, and then I've got my larger jump rings here straight from the bag and my smaller jump rings. And what I'm going to do is my smaller ones, I'll bring these in so you can see, my smaller jump rings, I am making sure that all of the connections on them are perfectly closed. So, and with my larger ones, I'm opening them all up. So this is my working pile. My closed ones are going to be my connecting pile. So with the small ones, straight from the bag, I'm just making sure that all of the connections are closed. So very often with your jump rings, you're going to have an open link. So I'm just going to hold my round nose pliers, and you'll see because I'm using round nose, if I hold it right at the very tip, I'm going to put a dent in my plier because I'm going to start using both of them to open it or to close it. So you're using quite a bit of force. So what I'm doing to prevent that really small pressure point, I'm taking my round nose pliers and I'm holding it vertically. So my split in the jump ring is here. Holding it vertically is going to limit the damage on that jump ring. And then with my flat nose pliers, I'm just moving it ever so slightly to make sure that I then get a perfect close. And that will go into my connecting pile. So there is a little bit of prep work to do first of all, but it's nice and therapeutic. It's definitely not strenuous. You just got to sit down and get yourself ready, and then that will make a big difference when you start making your weaves. Now, obviously we're going to do quite a simple one today, but when it comes to some of the more intricate patterns, when you're doing things like a Byzantine or the box weave, sometimes with the European and stuff like that, they're very intricate, and if you put them down you're going to lose your pattern. So actually it's really important to have your jump rings prepped, because that way, and you'll see as we go on, you can keep hold of the pattern in your pliers, you won't lose it, and you can just be picking them straight up from your mat. So I've got quite a few that I've already done, and you just want to prep those as your closed ones. And then with the larger ones, I'm going to do the same thing, but we're going to open them all up. Morning, Karen. Enjoying all these videos. Oh, fantastic. That's what we're doing it for. Thanks for joining us. So again, with my bigger jump rings, again, holding those pliers vertical to weaken the amount of pressure that you're putting on one place. And then with my flat nose, I'm just going to open them up. So you're twisting to open them like this, and that will go onto my working pile. Now take your dominant hand. So for me, I'm right-handed. I'm holding my ring in the left hand. My right hand, my flat nose pliers, is my dominant hand, and I'm going to twist that towards me. And that means when it sits on my bead mat, you'll see that the right hand side is the edge that sticks up, and that means I can really easily pick it up and I've got a good workable area. If you're left-handed, just reverse your pliers, so use your round nose in your right, and then open them with your left and take the left side towards you. And you will notice that as you're working, that will make a huge difference. So you just got to remember which way you're going and do it with all of them. So this is it, just a little bit of prep to do, and we'll get going. Now I've also got some clasps as well. I'm using the chainmail kit from Totally Beads in the gold, and hopefully you'll see on the video the difference between the two. There is a bright gold and there's a champagne gold. We also have the rose gold and silver. So you can see in my Helm Weave, I've got a 2-on-2 link with rose gold and silver, and then I've used a silver jump ring in the middle. And we also do a silver and a hematite. So this actually has the darker jump rings as well as the bright silver. So today I'm using the champagne gold. Thought it's nice and sunny for today. Okay, so let's get going. What I'm going to do is start off with one of my larger open jump rings, and I'm going to connect on 2 of my smaller ones. And you'll see, because I already have them on the mat and I know the links are perfectly closed, I can just connect them really easily. So once I've linked those on and picked them up, I'm going to again hold the jump ring in the same way, round those pliers vertically. I'm going to close that with my flat nose pliers. I'm going to pick up an open jump ring and I'm going to link it through. And I'm going to close it. Now what that will do is give me 2 links of my chainmail, and I've got 2 links on every link of my chain. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Now there are a few tricks that we can then start limiting the amount that we use again. So this time what I'm going to do is take a big jump ring. I'm going to add on 2 closed ones, like so, and then I'm going to add on my 2 closed rings from the section that I've already been making. So I'm adding 4. Carolyn, morning Sarah, I can watch but I can't hear a word as work computers have no sound. Oh Carolyn, bless you. At least you're still getting a little fix, and I'm sure you can watch it later when you get home. Stay safe while you're out there as well. Okay, so then I'm going to take another large jump ring and I'm going to go through all 4, like so. And then when I open this up and let the chain fall, you'll see that I've actually added 3 links straight away as well. Okay, so it takes shape very quickly, which is good and handy. And you'll see that I'm using the bigger jump rings as my working pile because I've got more space to work with. If I were to use the smaller jump rings, it's going to be a little bit trickier. So again, closing, and make sure that you get a really good closed connection on your working jump rings as well. So sometimes you will find, put this down for a second, when you've got your jump rings and you'll see that they have a slight gap in them like this. When you close them, they sit really nicely, and when you take your pliers away, they spring back a little bit. So take them past so that when it then springs back, it's dead on level. So I'm going to do that with all of the ones that I am closing. So I'm going to hold that larger jump ring, and you'll see that each time I'm holding my pattern in my less dominant hand, picking up my working jump ring with my dominant hand, and it means that you can keep on going nice and quickly. And this is as tricky as a 2-on-2 link gets. So it's nice and simple. Very easy to work. As you can see, we're growing it quite quickly, and it's giving us a lovely little effect. So are any of you making chainmail already? I would love to know. I have to say, I have absolutely loved seeing all of your pictures on the Totally Beads Totally Handmade Facebook group. So for those of you who don't know, we have a group on Facebook where you can go in and you can showcase, you can show off, you can ask for guidance, you can ask for tips. We basically just share all of the makes that we do with Totally Beads products. So I think there's about 700 people in there so far. Lots more coming through with these videos as well, which is lovely. So it's just a really nice little community page where we all share our images. But following the flower that I did on Monday's Facebook Live, and if you missed it, you'll be able to look back on the page and see any of the old videos. The download won't be available because that is for 24 hours only. But you can go back and see the make-along video, so you'll still get the gist of what we were doing. But so many of you have been sharing pictures of your makes, and you've made the most beautiful flowers. I'm going to contact you all because I'd really like to share them on my Sarah Millsap Facebook page. So I'm going to contact you all and make sure that you're okay with me doing that as well. But it's a lovely little community page. Pop over, have a little look, and join the group, and then it's all just like-minded people and lots of inspiration as well. So we're on there to inspire each other, which is really nice. And I'm going to show you, I made another flower from the same materials that we were using and the same pattern that we were using on Monday's video. Let me see if I've got it under this paperwork. Yes, I do. And I added it onto a comb. So I was asked on lots of different ways that you could use them. Obviously, the brooches are what we made in the videos. But if you do things like this, you can have lots of different accessories. So it's a really lovely way. So this is what we made on Monday. And then Kitty's done 2 as well. So you can go back, and she's done basic stringing, and Kitty will have to remind me what the other one is. I'm not very awake today. I'm pretty tired. We've had a really busy few days. As you know, Create and Craft is still running. We are still going into the studio. I've been there for the last 2 days for shows. The crew are doing an amazing job of keeping us all safe. We're sticking to all the social distancing rules as well, even on air, so the presenters aren't coming near us. The crew, which is a skeleton crew at the moment, they're doing a fantastic job. But it's just all a bit draining at the moment, isn't it? So I'm a bit tired today. I'm struggling to get my words out, but I know we all feel exactly the same. Oh, Kitty, thank you. Herringbone stitch. So we've got basic stringing, the herringbone stitch. We're doing chainmail today. We had the flower bicone flower rather, brooch on Monday, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing a floating necklace. So I'm going to turn it into a multi-strand necklace as well, give you a few tips and tricks on those. So we've had a really great week of interaction actually, and we do love getting your feedback as well. If there's anything you would like to see next week, certainly looks like we're all still going to be in for the foreseeable future. So we will also, I'll speak to Kitty today, we'll get a little plan of action in for next week, and we'll add them onto the page as events as well, so that you can click that you're interested or click that you're going, and then you'll get notifications of when they go live as well. You'll get a little reminder. So I think we're doing well, keeping everyone going. We're loving your feedback as well. So look at this, it's growing really quickly. We're almost at a complete bracelet. Angela, I'm working my way through USB 3. Oh, fantastic. So that's all of the weaving, isn't it? I know lots of you are using the USBs. Who knew that they would be a godsend in isolation? We didn't know that this was coming, but certainly if you got them, I'm sure you are pretty pleased with yourselves for having all of those projects to start working through as well. And how lovely. I mean, let's take positive from as much as we can at the moment. It's all this time for crafting. How long have we, well, me certainly, just needed a bit of downtime? You can't go anywhere, so you have to start concentrating on yourself and getting some things done. So see it as extra time for making these lovely projects, and a little bit of time to ourselves, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I am almost finished. It's about 3/4 of a bracelet, I would say. Now, when you're sizing things up, always leave, I always say about 1 inch for your clasp and extra jump rings. When I'm adding them onto here, I'm only going to add on 1 jump ring, because the hole through the clasp is quite small. You're not going to get 2 jump rings through there. So just to keep the symmetry in the pattern, finish with 2 of your large jump rings. I'm going to open up one of the smaller ones, link that through the large ones, and then also link that through the clasp as well. And again, close that off, and you'll have your clasp at the end only on 1 jump ring, but it is keeping the pattern going, which is really nice. Could you demo JPL Weave, please? Yeah, I'm going to add that onto the list for next week then, actually. If chainmail is something that you want to see more of, and with chainmail a lot of the patterns are quite tricky, especially when you're going a bit more advanced. So yeah, I also saw someone else was working on a jump ring pattern as well. I'll have a look through the comments, because sometimes seeing somebody do it is so much easier than following written patterns. So yeah, we'll add those all on. And yeah, use this time to have a little bit of a personal make along. Let us know what your requests are, and Kitty and I will have a look through all the pages. Okay, so I've got my clasp on one side. I'm going to add a couple more links just so I know my bracelet is going to fit me. And this is the bonus when you're making things for yourself. It's going to fit you perfectly, isn't it? So I'm going to add 1 more set. I do like my chainmail bracelets to be a little bit looser than tight when you're wearing them. So I'm going to use just 1 more set, and I'm going to finish on a large jump ring. The smaller jump rings are going to be a little bit tricky when I'm putting a bracelet on myself. I do struggle sometimes with lobster claw clasps. So, oh my goodness, I opened the exact amount of jump rings I needed. That's funny, I didn't even count them. Well, simple things are exciting me at the moment. So you've got your clasp on one side, and that is going to go into your larger jump ring on the other side. So it's still going to give you the perfect symmetry in your pattern as well, and that's going to make it easier to put on yourself when you're wearing it. Now, if you wanted to turn this bracelet into a helm weave, so you can see at the moment we've got a really lovely bracelet. It's quite dimensional because we've got the double links, and because you're making your own chain, you can use this for bracelets, you can use it for extender chains, you can use them to create lots of different things. You now have the ability to make your own chain. So that's going to come in really useful with lots of other things. I'm just going to move these jump rings out of the way. I'll put these ones straight back in the pack because I haven't closed these perfectly. And I'll keep my closed ones separate for later. And then what I'm going to do is turn this into a helm weave, and I'm going to use the bright gold just so that hopefully it's a little bit different for you to see, and it adds a really nice dimension and a bit more intricacy into your make. So again, I'm just going to prep a little bit of a working pile, and we'll have a little look through. Open these all up. Okay, so to turn it into a helm weave, what we're going to do is take a large jump ring, and I'm going to insert it surrounding, oh, hold on, some of these jump rings aren't closed very well. It's because I'm looking at the screen whilst working. And the great thing is, if any of them do spring out of place, you can just go back and correct them. None of them are wonky enough that they're going to come undone. But I just want to make sure it looks good. Okay, so what we're going to do is take one of the larger jump rings and insert it and completely surround the smaller jump rings. So right around these, we'll just add a little bit of an extra finish. So what we're going to do is take the larger jump ring in a contrasting colour, just so it looks really nice. I'm going to open it a little bit wider as well. And then I'm going to go in between my large jump rings on one of my links. And then you bring it around, and I'm rotating my wrist so that I am actually sliding the jump ring through. And that's going to go all the way around the smaller jump rings and out the other side and in between both of the large jump rings. Now, I'm obviously doing this having finished my 2-on-2 link already. What you can do is actually add these as you go. So your 2-on-2 is the pattern that you will get today as a free download. What I'm doing now is just a little bit extra. You do actually get it in the chainmail booklet, but I just want to show you that once you learn the basics, you can actually start adapting the pattern really easily. So can you see then, this large jump ring completely encases the small ones, and it just adds a really lovely detail and a bit of dimension different to just the 2-on-2 links. I'll do a couple more. It is working with the jump rings. If you're not used to it, it can be a little bit tricky to get used to begin with, but as you go and you start to see how they work, how they move, how you can manipulate them, it does become easier. And you'll see that rather than actually moving the bracelet, I'm rotating that jump ring all the way through, just holding onto it with my pliers. I can then get in with my round nose pliers and hold it, and then close that jump ring. And if you struggle getting them together in your patterns, just going to rotate it around a little bit more. If you struggle closing them and you find that the gaps in them are bigger, I mean, the quality of these jump rings are really lovely. You see how it changes the pattern? Just that one ring. Morning, Helen. You can see actually, if you're struggling closing them because they have a little gap in between them and you've opened it up, whilst you're bringing them together, just also squeeze your pliers together. So you're pushing it in and twisting it, and that extra pressure will just bring them that little bit closer as well. Let's do 2 more, and then I'll post a picture later on as well. I'll finish this off because I don't want to keep you all too long. I'll finish this off and then I'll post a picture as well. And I would love to see if you're going to make some of these today, just like you have done with your bicone flower. Please share them in the Totally Handmade Facebook group, because honestly, this is what we do it for. So I would love to see that you are beading along with us. So yeah, free PDF download, 24 hours only. Today is your 2-on-2 link chainmail, and then tomorrow is going to be the floating necklace. So it changes at 10 o'clock every day. And you just pop it into your basket, check out your basket, and that will get emailed through to you. And then hopefully we just wanted to keep you all entertained, obviously, while we've got a little bit of extra time, and just give a little something back as well. Obviously, there are a lot of businesses that can't be operating at the moment, which is really sad. I hope everyone's doing okay, but Simon and Kitty are still making sure that orders go out. They've got a good little rotation with the staff in the warehouse, and the office staff are working from home, so they're doing really well and making sure that we can stay with you. Okay, so there you go. That is your PDF and make along for today. Let me have a little look. Can't see what you're doing with it, hun, sorry. Oh, shall I go a bit closer? Let me do another one, I'll go a bit closer. Karen, love this design. Where can I get the pattern from, please? Can you post the answer on your Facebook page as I have no sound? Yes, I will. Maybe you can lip read. Carolyn, I will put a link on for you. So it's the 2-on-2. The 2-on-2 link is the one that I have shown you first of all to make your chain, and then the extra helm pattern. This is your free PDF download for today. The extra pattern comes from the chainmail pattern booklet. That's on sale at the moment on the Totally Beads website. It's $8.99 and you get 7 patterns and 3 full sets of jewellery. This is a little pair of earrings that I made with the helm pattern as well. So you can see you can just make really small little bits. I'm going to go a bit closer for you, Holly. Hold on 1 second then, just before we finish. This is the bonus of having the interaction, isn't it? And I do forget when I'm making things at home, I do forget I'm not in the studios and I don't have these close-up cameras being able to capture everything. So what I'm doing, hopefully this is going to focus in. I'm taking 1 large jump ring and I'm going in between the 2 larger jump rings here. I'm surrounding the smaller ones and I'm taking it through these ones as well. So I've opened up my jump ring. I'm going in between the large one. Is it focusing in or is it just my eyes? Yeah. I'm going in between the 2 large jump rings here, and I'm rotating my wrist so that it's going to start looping round the smaller jump rings. And then whilst I'm looping round, I'm also going to make sure that it sits in between the next large jump rings. So straight through like this. Again, nudging it round, rotating it round, and you'll see that you then have a little open link up at the top. I can get my round nose pliers in there and I can squeeze that shut. I'm just going to push it in a little bit more. You'll feel the jump rings rub together, and that's when you know you have a perfect finish. Victoria, I'm so sorry I missed what this is called. This is chainmail, and we're doing a 2-on-2 link with your chain, and then I'm also turning it into a Helm Weave, and that's Helm. Helm. Okay, so if you do go for the pattern booklet as well, on each of the instructions there is a link at the top of the product page, which will also give you a video make along. So I filmed them last time, or a few times ago, when I was at the Totally Beads warehouse. So they are really nice and close up. Kitty has a fantastic camera set up down there, really nice and close up, and you will see all of these in detail. Hopefully today has been enough for you. So Holly, I hope that helps. Dorothy, gorgeous. Thanks, Sarah. You are welcome, Victoria. Thank you, Sarah. Have a nice day. And you, Camille, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to pop on now and get all my jobs done. A little bit more work to do, and then I'm going to be painting this afternoon. And I also have to try and cut the dog's hair. Because we moved, he hasn't had a haircut for about 5 weeks. He looks like a sheep. And of course the groomers are shut now, so who knows what he's going to look like by the end of the day. I might share pictures with you just for a laugh. Okay, thank you so much. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I will be here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock as well. We're going to be doing floating necklaces with your new PDF download. So we're going to be using crimp beads, we're going to be using tiger tail wire clasps and some nice beads. So raid your cupboards, raid your stash, get those ready for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I will share a few top tips with you then. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your sunny day. I hope you're all doing well. Just remember, we are all here together. The interaction with Totally Beads obviously has been fantastic for a lot of you, which we know because you're letting us know. Join the group. We can all have a nice little chit chat throughout the day, and let us know if there is anything else that you would like to see as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care, be safe.